I'm doing my video on 5.2a types of devices. Hardware and software components are easily available for industrious users to create their own specialized device. One of the most common hardware components is the Raspberry Pi, which is a low cost. It's like you can get them from $35. It's about the size of a credit card, and it will do basically whatever you need it to. It's got more USBs than most like new laptops out there, actually. Gigabit Ethernet, some little micro USBs, and basically it's got a little OS on it called Raspbian, which is a Linux distribution, and you can program it to do whatever you want. You can have it like automate something. You can have it control whatever you really need it to with programming, and you can also put emulators on it. My friend in high school, he had an emulator on he put an emulator on his Raspberry Pi, and he had like every SNES game, and he'd bring it to school with a controller, and we'd just game during lunch. They were very, very useful and very, very cheap. Um, and they're very, very popular. Here's a little diagram of it. A device similar to the Raspberry Pi is the Arduino. Unlike the Raspberry Pi, which can function as a complete computer, the Arduino is designed as a controller for other devices. So instead of having its own operating system, the Arduino has a little tiny CPU in it. Shut up, cookies. Um, and I mean, if we click buy one, they are like as cheap as this is $25, and this will basically do whatever you want. This is another way to do automation. There is, I don't know where it is exactly. It's right here. There is a kit you can buy that has your Arduino automate to water a plant of your choice, which is really cool. So Arduinos are basically Raspberry Pis without all of the extra stuff like an operating system or anything. An Arduino will do one thing that you tell it to do with C++ code. There is a thing smaller than an Arduino. It's called a system on a chip, which combines all the required electronic circuits of the various computer components on a single IC chip. Whereas Arduino and Raspberry Pi are motherboards, uh, this only does this. Uh, there's a lot of different kinds of them. There is a lot of specialized embedded systems in cars, such as that is not what I meant to click. All of these. Next image. Digital turn signals. So there's a lot of things that go inside of a car. And I gotta get back to the book now, don't I? Yup. There's other kinds of specialized systems, like a multifunctional printer, which combines the functions of a printer, copier, scanner, and fax machine. Peripheral devices are essentially special purpose computers with a CPU, a hard drive that stores all received print jobs, faxes, and scanned images, a LAN or wireless LAN connection, a telephone connection for faxes, and a USB port to allow users to print documents stored on that device. There's also a UAV, which is basically just a drone. It's essentially a remote controlled airplane. I have a little drone that was given to me to play with like a dog, but the dog didn't like it. It's about the size of my phone, and it lasts for like 30 minutes, and it is really, really tiny. And they also get like huge for like cameras and B-roll footage, and those can go for like $5,000. So there's a huge range of drones. Commonly used for policing and surveillance, product deliveries, aerial photography, infrastructure inspections, and even drone racing. Um, so the police would use them to like survey, uh, like the sites or whatever a company might. Amazon's thinking about using them for product deliveries, and I think they might have them rolled out in some areas of the world. Uh, as I said, a lot of YouTubers use them for aerial photography and capturing B-roll footage. There's also the Internet of Things. So the Internet of Things is basically like they started putting little chips in common things such as your toaster, if you wanted to spend $400 on a toaster, your fridge, if you wanted to spend $5,000 on a fridge, your thermostat, especially, and things like the Ring doorbell camera, which is a camera inside of your doorbell so that you can like talk to delivery people. So